Hey, what's up guys, Teach over here, kind of video today. Right, so this should be version 3 of Mermails, and now that I've gone to locals, I managed to pick up a special card, which of course isn't the card that everyone wants, but it's definitely one of the two, from Legacy of the Valiant. And now that if you think about it, I do play a water deck. You know, one of the two cards is a water, and it does allow you to get off the effective Dragoons. So in sense of like what is more of a priority to get hold of right now, most likely going to be the one that I got, so I'll get to it when I get there. But let's go over the deck. So I don't play Diva anymore, and because of that it changes a lot of the deck. What that basically means is that you're not as susceptible to Veiler so much. You still do get Veilered and it sucks, but Diva getting Veilered was one of the worst things because it would completely shut you down. You'd be stuck there with nothing to do. You'd have all these dead cards in hand, you wouldn't be able to make anything work. But when they Veiler you, you basically give them a -1 in a lot of different scenarios. And when you take out Diva, you also take out a lot of cards out of your extra deck. So you go down to like 11 to 12 cards in your extra deck, so then you have room for a different engine. And I'm going to try Mermail Abyssmander, which allows you to banish it from your graveyard and target all Mermails you control go up either 1 or 2 levels. So it allows you to go into rank 5s or 4s depending on what monsters you have on the field. So let's go over the deck quickly. So first off, we're going to have 2 Megalo, because the deck doesn't focus around Megalo as much, so I brought it down to 2 again. A lot of times I don't like having it, but sometimes it's great to have. It's just a 2400 beta. 1 Abyss Lead, 1 Tidal, yummy. Tidal's great. 3 Abyss Teus. You need it to make all the combos in your deck work, so drawing it is really great. 3 Abyss Lind, can't argue with Lind, Lind's great. 3 Gund, 1 Abyss Sokia, allows you to do a lot of things. When you summon Teus, you can get this. I mean, if you open up with this, Abyss Teus and Abyss Pike, then you can like summon Pike, pitch this, search for Gund, and then you make Teus, ditch Gund, search something, special summon Abyss Sokia. Okay? So now you have 3 monsters, and then you can go, I'll go over the play when I get there, but basically it's really good. Okay, so you have 3 Pike, maximizing it, and you have 1 Abyssmander, big fat Mermail thing. Yeah, so you banish it and increases all levels, so you can make rank 5s really easily. Heavy Infantry, times 3. 2 Marksman, because I won 3 MST, and plus Marksman's not as relevant in the deck as it should be. And 1 copy of Atlantean Dragoons, because you can only play 1. I also found one for 2 MST, because most decks are susceptible to it. I mean, if you play against Firefish, you're going to get a +1 off it if they make Tiger King, or you're going to go +0 because they'll get a free card as well. But apart from that, Hieratics, Gears, everything usually gets shut down by this. So they'll try and clear the path with Trap Stun, and then you make Maxi, and then you can push through, you can stop them from doing stuff, you know, it slows them down because they don't know if you're running Gauze or anything. But I'm not running Gauze. So 2 Maxi just to kind of get things going, you know, because you can run out of cards, you know, and stuff like that. 3 MST as for the starting traps, and I think I have one other, yeah, Salvage. So you're probably asking, where's Dark Hole? I took Dark Hole out because a lot of the time I would have like combo pieces in my hand, and I wouldn't have all the pieces I need, so I'd much rather make a formidable field while clearing their field at the same time using my own cards, rather than using just Dark Hole summon monsters, because that generally doesn't give me as good of a field. So I'd much rather run Salvage, because Salvage allows you to pop stuff, get it back, and then you can use these cards to keep making great fields. You generally can destroy your opponent's stuff while you're making your own stuff, but Dark Hole doesn't let you do that. You generally have to have the hand already for Dark Hole to work. For traps, we have 3 Spheres, card, you know, staple, until it gets limited or whatever. 1 Abyss Squall, searchable by Megalo, allows you to do a lot of disgusting things. You can literally flip it up while you have Manda in your graveyard, and then you can boost everything up, and it literally wins the game right there, because you can go straight into Volcasaurus and then Gaia Charger, and it's like stupid. And you can go like summon 2 level 4s and then summon a Abyss Megalo from your graveyard, and then you can summon Tidal, make a Dragosack and stuff. You can do so many plays with this. Even if you really need to, you know, you chain it, you summon like a whole wall of monsters they can't get through, and you summon Abysslind. So in the end phase, Abysslind gets destroyed, you get a free monster. 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. It's been kind of considered to be like the best idea to run free. It's either you got to run a lot of negation. I mean, a lot of people are playing breakthrough skill, but that's dependent on whether or not you have Exciton Knight. If you don't have Exciton Knight, then you can probably get away with Fiendish Chain instead, because it still gets rid of Exciton Knights. You know, you can wait for them to activate, then you chain Fiendish Chain. But ultimately, I think if you're playing Exciton Knight and you have it, then you know, maybe using Fiendish Chain may not be such a good idea, because it does stick around on the field and it will get blown up. So using breakthrough skill allows you to blow up your field, and then you can keep breakthrough skill in your graveyard for when you need it. So right, so for the last 3 traps I have a Solemn Warning, Torrential Tribute, and a Bottomless Trap Hole. Kind of 3 staple traps that a lot of players are running at the moment. Mermails don't need to run anything like, you know, Battle Stoppers, like Mirror Force, Deprison. Don't need to run that stuff. Generally you just run stuff that activates on summon, so that you can you know, like for instance Torrential, you can have Lind on the field and Torrential does things. You know, Solemn Warning does put in a lot of work against Boojins and other decks like that. You can really stop decks in their tracks. And Bottomless is just like, in a lot of senses, if they don't have a bin Lance, then you can just Bottomless, and it does the same thing as Warning in a lot of cases. Anyway, moving on to the extra deck. Right, so we have Levia the Sea Dragon. So you know, you banish Mandu, you banish stuff with Tidal, you can get stuff back with Levia and carry on doing plays. 1 wind up Zenmains, because you do go into it sometimes. It's a nice wall, you can push through things and kind of that stuff. Bahamut Shark, as well as 2 Mermail Abyss Trite. If I get an Exciton Knight, then Abyss Trite will definitely come out, or one of them will anyway, because I rarely go into Bahamut Shark, and when I do, I generally get 1 summon out of it, and then they destroy everything, and then I'm like, what's the point having 2 of them? So it just takes up a lot of extra deck space. I'm much happier just to take out 1 of them. Making 2800 walls is great, but they don't actually do anything, and it gives your, you know, your opponent's drawing cards. You're just clogged up your field of all these 2800 walls, and no real way to actually push through. 1 Abyss Dweller, you kind of have to run it. You know, 2200 when it has a water on it. It's, you know, makes everything 500 points stronger. Lets you get over a lot of things. 1 Diamond Direwolf. This would be an Exciton Knight if I had one, but you know, they're very hard to get hold of. Laval Val Chain. This card is like literally one of the best cards in the deck. I'm not gonna say anything else. I mean, like, you banish Manda, you overlay your 2 level 3s to summon this. Obviously they've been put up to level 4, and then you just pitch like fucking, you just send Tidal, and then like you banish stuff for Tidal, and you just keep recursion. The recursion effect is disgusting. And the card which I've added on is number 101, Silent Honor Arc. I haven't really been playing testing this card too much. I generally don't go into it too much, but when I do go into it and I do need that out to get over something disgusting like Beelza on, you know, Dev Pro or something, it does put in a hell of a lot of work. The fact that it doesn't die, like you get 1 detach when if it would be destroyed, means you can really waste your opponent's cards. 2100 is pretty good, but the fact is that you can really get yourself out of sticky situations. Like for instance, you're playing against Fire Kings. Mermails have a very bad matchup against Fire Kings. You generally want to steal or, you know, absorb their Garunix, you know, so you can stop the recursion of Garunix, which is the most important thing. And for my level 5s, I have a Volcasaurus and a Shark Fortress. This is for OTKing, this is also for OTKing, but they serve different purposes. Against an empty field, this card does better work, and it also has a nice little effect where your opponent can't target other monsters for attacks other than that card, so it's very nice. Volcasaurus does allow you to do a lot of disgusting things, and obviously you combine it with Gaia Charger just for this card as well. If you need to, you can like get this card, target Abyss Gaios, and then you can overlay for this, and then you can attack for an extra 200 damage if you need to. The whole combo itself allows you to do some pretty disgusting damage combined with Tidal. So you can like pop something 1000, that's 1000 damage, and then you can summon Tidal, overlay for Gaia Charger over Volcasaurus, and attack with both, as well as a Lavalvar Chain, which you would have used earlier to get the Tidal out. Mermail Abyss Gaius, and a Dracosac and a Big Eye. Those are my rank 7s. Don't really need more than that. I mean, they're like the 3 decent ones that people play, as well as obviously Gaia Charger counts as one as well, but I would not really count that as one of the cards that I would go into on a regular basis, except to overlay over something else. So yeah, they're the 3 standard things. I want to quickly go over the combo that I was talking about. I mean, like, there's so many combos with this deck, because like, well, the way I was playing it before, you basically play your hand as you feel like it. Now that the deck plays a bit differently, you can end your field of a lot of disgusting combos. Basically, if you open up with these 3 in your hand, you can literally go Momo Abyss Pike, summon on your first turn, and then you pitch Abyss Sokia to search your deck for a Gunday. Okay, so you summon Gunday, and now you have these two in your hand. So then you pitch Gunday to the graveyard to summon Abyss Teus. Now Gunday's effect will special summon a Sokia, and Mermail Abyss Teus will search practically anything you want. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If you want, you can get I guess a Lind or something. It doesn't really matter. Sorry if you can't see it. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so you activate the effect of Sokia, for example. No, you keep it on the field, and then you activate, you target Abyss Teus while you have Lind in your hand, and then you special summon a level 4 and a level 3. So you get yourself a Manda, and the only other level 4, the level 3 you can get would be something like another Lind. So now you send the Teus to the graveyard because of Sokia. So by this point, you've got 1 card in hand, right? So you'd have 4 cards in hand in your starting turn by this point. You've got 4 monsters on your field, and you can literally go like this, right? Make Lavarvar Chain. Okay, Lavarvar Chain, fantastic. You know, you detach Manda, and then you send to the graveyard a Tidal, if it's in there. You send Tidal to the graveyard, so Tidal is now in the graveyard. This is what your graveyard looks like right now. You have a Manda, a Tidal, a Teus, and a Gund. Okay, so now you have this on your field. You've got one of these in your hand. Now you you banish Teus and Gund to summon Tidal. So let's put Tidal here, and then you banish Manda. So now you have these, and now these become level 4, level 5, whatever you want. So if you were on an empty field and you were about to OTK, and they had nothing to stop you, then you could make Shark Fortress, detach, you know, whatever, send to the graveyard. Shark Fortress can target Tidal. Yeah, so then you attack the game, and pretty much that. I mean, like, that's one of the combos, one of the many combos that the deck can do, and it just goes on and on. I mean, the fact that you're just using Manda with Tidal, there's just so many combos, and it's so fun because, like, people do regard Mermails to be very combo orientated, but the more you delve into it, the more like thought process you put into the deck, the better it gets. I mean, you realize what cards go in, what cards come out. I'm so glad I took out Dark Hole for Salvage, because it allows you to do the same like combos but more consistently, and you don't waste as much of your hand doing it in case things go wrong. And you can reuse stuff like infantry and things like that. It doesn't require you to have to use Abyss Thetcglover, you know, which I do like it. It's just that in this particular variant of the deck, it doesn't really put in as much work. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Do comment down below your thoughts on the deck. Let me know if you like it, if you don't, and I'll see you guys in a few days. And until next time, the Thetcglover is out.